The research station Luminous Dawn moved slowly around the big gas planet, like a metal moon. Dr. Hannah Kim walked through the long white hallways, her soft shoes making no sound on the clean floors. She stopped at the big window that looked out, at the swirling orange and red clouds of the planet below. "Commander Kim, you need to see this," called Dr. Jin Park from across the main research room. His voice was excited but also worried. He was looking at a computer screen full of strange symbols and numbers. Hannah walked over to him. Around them, other scientists worked at their desks, studying old ruins on the planet's moon. The ruins were very old, maybe 12,000 years old. The people who built them were gone now, but they left behind amazing things. "What did you find?" Hannah asked. Jin pointed at the screen. "These symbols. They show that the old people who lived here could talk to other planets far away, faster than light speed. We can't even do that now." Hannah felt excited. This was a big discovery. The old people were much smarter than anyone thought. But before she could say anything, a loud alarm started ringing through the station. Lieutenant Su Lee ran to the big control panel. Her face went white as she looked at the screens. "Commander, big ships coming out of hyperspace. Many ships." The main screen turned on and showed space around them. Hannah's heart stopped. 53 big warships appeared out of nowhere like hungry sharks. They were black and had sharp edges. She knew those ships. Everyone in the galaxy knew them. They belonged to the hegemony. The biggest ship was in front. It was called Eternal Dominion. Hannah knew who commanded it. Admiral Vexstar. He was famous for destroying 3 whole star systems. He killed everyone who did not obey the hegemony. "All people, danger alert," Hannah said into her communicator. Her voice went to every room in the station. "This is not a drill. The research station only had 3 small guard ships. They were tiny compared to the hegemony war fleet. The station had 847 people on it, scientists like Jin, engineers like Tae Choi, and many other workers. None of them were soldiers. They came here to study old things, not to fight wars." The radio crackled with a harsh voice. It was Admiral Vexstar, Corvani Research Station. "Listen to me. You will give us all your research data right now. You will. Let our soldiers take your station. You have 12 minutes to do this. If you do not obey, we will destroy you all." Hannah looked around the research room. Dr. Jin Park was backing up all the data as fast as he could. Other scientists were running around, some crying, some trying to send messages to their families. Engineer Tae Choi was at the communications panel, trying to call for help. "Commander," Tae said, "the hegemony is blocking all our radio signals. I can't send messages to anyone." Hannah walked to the big window again. The hegemony ships were getting closer. She could see their weapons charging up with bright blue light. Each ship had enough power to destroy the research station 10 times over. "What about the escape pods?" asked Dr. Jin. Su Lee checked her controls. "They're jamming those too. The pods can't start their engines." Hannah felt cold inside. The hegemony did not want anyone to escape. They wanted to take all the research data and then probably kill everyone anyway. That was how Admiral Vexstar worked. The station shook a little as the hegemony ships fired warning shots. The lights flickered. Through the window, Hannah could see bright flashes as the enemy weapons hit empty space near them. "Commander, what do we do?" Jin asked. His hands were shaking. Hannah looked at her people. They were smart, good people who spent their lives learning about the universe. They found amazing things in the old ruins. They were making discoveries that could help everyone in the galaxy. And now they would all die because evil people wanted to steal their work. "Keep backing up the data," she said. "Tae, keep trying to send a message. Try the old emergency channels." "Even if I get a message out," Tae said sadly, "help is too far away. The nearest Corvani fleet is 4 days from here." 10 minutes left. The hegemony ships moved closer. Hannah could see soldiers in the windows of the big ships, getting ready to board the station. Admiral Vexstar would take everything they had worked for and use it for war and conquest. The station shook again, harder this time. Some books fell off shelves. A coffee cup rolled across a desk and broke on the floor. 8 minutes, Suli said quietly. Hannah closed her eyes for a moment. Then, she opened them and looked at her people one more time. They were still working, still trying to save their research, even though they were about to die. She was proud of them, but there was nothing more they could do. No one was coming to help them. In 8 minutes, Admiral Vexstar would order his ships to fire, and the research station Luminous Dawn would become space dust, along with everyone on it. The research station shook harder now. Books fell from shelves and rolled across the floor. The lights went on and off as the hegemony ships moved closer like giant metal monsters in the dark space. Engineer Tae Choi sat at the communications panel with sweat on his face. His hands moved fast over the buttons and switches. Come on, he said to himself. Red lights blinked on his screen. Everything was blocked. Commander Kim, he called out. The hegemony is stopping all our radio signals. They have machines that block everything we try to send. Hannah ran over to him. Around them, people were running everywhere. Some scientists were crying. Others were trying to hide their important research files. Dr. Jin Park was still at his computer, copying data as fast as he could. What about the old emergency channels? Hannah asked. The ones from before the war. Tae's fingers moved over different buttons. I'm trying them all. The diplomatic channels, the old trade routes, even the medical emergency signals. His face looked sad. They're blocking everything. Another shake hit the station. This time it was stronger. A big computer screen fell off the wall and broke into pieces. Someone screamed from another room. Lieutenant Su Lee looked at her control panel. Her voice was scared. Commander, I'm checking all the nearby star systems for help. The nearest Corvani fleet is 4 days away. That's too long. What about other aliens? Jin asked, while still typing on his computer. The R'Lani have ships. The Zenthari too. Su Lee shook her head. The R'Lani made a peace deal with the hegemony last year. They won't fight them. The Zenthari only have 3 ships in this area. Not enough. 7 minutes left. Dr. Jin Park suddenly grabbed Hannah's arm. Commander, you need to understand something. This research we found, it's not just old history. The people who lived here before had technology we can't even dream of. What do you mean? Hannah asked. Jin pointed at his screen full of strange symbols. They could send messages across the galaxy in seconds. They had weapons that could destroy stars. They had ships that could travel through time. His eyes were wide. If the hegemony gets this information, they could conquer the whole galaxy, Hannah finished. Her stomach felt sick. The station shook again. Through the big window, she could see the hegemony ships were very close now. Their weapons were bright blue, and getting brighter. Admiral Vexstar was getting ready to attack. Tae Choi suddenly sat up straight. Wait, I got something. His fingers moved fast over the controls. One of the old diplomatic channels is working for just a few seconds. The Terra Corvani emergency frequency. Send the message, Hannah said. Tae's hands moved like lightning. He typed a short message. Research Station Luminous Dawn, under attack by hegemony fleet. Admiral Vexstar, commanding 847 people need help. Important archaeological data. Please help us. He hit the send button. For 3 seconds, a green light showed on his panel. Then it turned red again. Did it go through? Hannah asked. I think so. But Commander ... Tae looked sad. Even if someone got the message, who could help us? The humans are the only ones strong enough to fight the hegemony, but their fleets are far away. 5 minutes left. The radio crackled again with Admiral Vexstar's angry voice. Corvani Station, you have 5 minutes left. I see you trying to send messages. It will not help you. No one is coming. Give us your data now, and maybe some of you will live. Hannah picked up the radio. Admiral Vexstar, we are scientists. We study old history. We are not soldiers. Why do you want to hurt us? The Admiral laughed. It was a cold, mean sound. Because you found something valuable, and the hegemony takes what it wants. Your research will help us build better weapons. Your station will become a military base. Your people... He stopped talking for a moment. Your people are not important. Around the research room, everyone had stopped working. They were all looking at Hannah. Some people were holding hands. Others were hugging each other. They knew they were going to die. Dr. Jin Park finished copying the last of the research data onto a small storage device. At least I saved everything, he said quietly. Maybe someone will find it after we're gone. The station's emergency lights started flashing red. A computer voice said over and over, "Warning, weapons systems detected. All personnel prepare for emergency." Through the big window, Hannah could see soldiers in the hegemony ships getting ready. They had big guns and armor. Some of them were pointing at the research station and laughing. Tae Choi was still trying to send messages. But nothing was working. "I'm sorry, Commander. The jammers are too strong now." 3 minutes left. Hannah looked at her people one more time. They were good people who wanted to learn about the universe. They never hurt anyone. They just wanted to understand how things worked and share their knowledge with everyone. But Admiral Vexstar and the hegemony only cared about power and control. They would take the ancient technology and use it to hurt more people. The hegemony ships were so close now that Hannah could see the names painted on their sides. The biggest one, Eternal Dominion, had weapons pointed right at the research station. Soon, it would all be over. 2 minutes left. The space around the research station was quiet, except for the dark hegemony ships, moving closer like hungry wolves. Hannah Kim stood at the big window, watching Admiral Vexstar's fleet get ready to destroy everything she cared about. Suddenly, the empty space behind the gas planet started to glow with bright white light. Then more lights appeared, and more of the lights grew bigger and brighter until they hurt to look at. "What's happening?" Dr. Jin Park asked, running to the window. Lieutenant Su Lee stared at her control panel. Her mouth was open. "Commander, I'm reading massive hyperspace signatures. Big ships coming out of faster-than-light travel." The lights exploded into brilliant flashes. When the light faded, 47 new ships floated in space. But these ships looked different from the hegemony fleet. They were sleek and silver, with blue stripes along their sides. Their design was smooth and fast-looking. "Those are human ships," Tae Choi shouted from his communications panel. Terran Defense Force. Hannah could not believe her eyes. The human fleet was arranged in perfect battle formation. The biggest ship was in front, a massive war vessel, 3 times the size of any hegemony ship. Smaller destroyers and cruisers spread out on both sides, like the wings of a giant bird. The radio suddenly came alive with a calm, strong voice. "Attention all hegemony vessels. This is Admiral Don O of the Terran Defense Force, commanding Battle Group 7. You will immediately withdraw from this system or face the consequences." On the research station, everyone stopped what they were doing. Scientists came running from other rooms to look out the windows. Some people started crying, but now they were happy tears. Admiral Vexstar's angry voice crackled over the radio. "Humans, what are you pathetic creatures doing here? This is hegemony space. You have no right to interfere." Hannah knew about Admiral Dano. All the alien races talked about him. He was young for a human admiral, but he had won many battles against pirates and slavers. Other alien commanders respected him, even if they feared him. Admiral Vexstar Dano's voice was still calm, but there was something dangerous underneath. "You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawal procedures. I will not repeat this warning." Dr. Jin Park grabbed Hannah's arm. "How are they here?" Our intelligence reports said the nearest human fleet was 3 sectors away. That's weeks of travel time. Lieutenant Su Li was listening to radio signals between the human ships. Commander, they're using tactical frequencies I've never heard before. Their coordination is ... perfect. Hannah watched the human fleet through the window. The ships were moving into attack positions, but not like other alien races would do. Most species stayed far away when they fought, using long-range weapons. But the humans were moving close, very close. Are they insane? Tae Choi asked. They're positioning for close-range combat. The hegemony ships have more armor and bigger guns. But Hannah had studied human military history. She knew that humans were different from other races. Where aliens saw suicide, humans saw opportunity. Where others saw impossible odds, humans saw a challenge. The human destroyers spread out in a pattern that would put them right next to the hegemony ships. The cruisers moved to surround the enemy fleet, and Admiral O's flagship, a huge dreadnought, called Invincible, aimed straight at Admiral Vexter's ship. 30 seconds are up, Admiral O announced. Admiral Vexter laughed over the radio. Foolish humans. We have 53 ships. You have 47. We are bigger and stronger. You will die first. Admiral, came another human voice. This is Captain Min Ko, of the destroyer Soul's Pride. My crew is ready. Captain Yun Li, of the cruiser Busan Thunder reporting ready for combat. Commander Jun Bei of Inshan's Fury, weapons charged, and waiting for orders. One by one, every human ship captain reported ready. Their voices were calm and professional, like they were getting ready for a training exercise, instead of a battle that could kill them all. Hannah noticed something else. The human ships were not just moving into attack positions. They were moving into positions that would let them protect the research station. Even while preparing to fight a larger enemy fleet, they were thinking about saving the people they had come to help. Look at their formation, Dr. Jin Park said quietly. They're putting themselves between us and the hegemony. On the hegemony flagship, Admiral Vextar was probably looking at his tactical screens and realizing something important. Humans had a reputation throughout the galaxy. They were known for being unpredictable, aggressive, and absolutely refusing to give up. Other races fought carefully, trying to minimize their losses. Humans fought to win, no matter what it cost them. The space between the two fleets was quiet for a moment. On the research station, 847 people held their breath. The hegemony had come to steal and destroy. The humans had come to protect and defend. All human vessels. Admiral Dano's voice was steady as stone, weapons free. Show them why nobody threatens innocent people while we're watching. The battle was about to begin. The battle exploded across space like a giant fireworks show, but with death instead of celebration. Admiral Dano's flagship Invincible charged straight toward the hegemony fleet, her weapons shooting bright beams of energy that cut through the darkness. From the research station, Hannah Kim and her people watched in amazement as the human ships did things that seemed impossible. The destroyer Soul's Pride, commanded by Captain Min Ko, flew directly at a huge hegemony cruiser. Instead of shooting from far away, like most aliens would do, Captain Min Ko flew his ship so close that the two vessels almost touched. What is he doing? Dr. Jin Park asked, his face pressed against the window. The answer came fast. The human destroyer spun around the hegemony ship like a dancer, shooting at close range where the enemy's big guns could not turn fast enough to hit back. The hegemony cruiser's armor began to break apart under the constant fire. But then, something even more crazy happened. Captain Min Ko aimed his ship directly at the enemy cruiser's side and hit it like a hammer hitting a nail. The crash made a bright flash that lit up all the nearby ships. He rammed them, Lieutenant Su Li shouted. The human ship just crashed into the enemy on purpose. When the light faded, both ships were damaged, but the human destroyer was still fighting. The hegemony cruiser was spinning out of control with a huge hole in its side. Taechoi was listening to the battle communications. "Commander, the human crews are pulling 15 times normal gravity during these moves. How are they still conscious? Any other alien race would pass out or die from those forces." Hannah knew the answer. Humans were tougher than most aliens thought. Their bodies could handle stress that would kill other species. But more than that, human crews trained for this. They prepared their whole lives to fight in conditions that others could not survive. Another amazing thing happened. The cruiser, Busan Thunder, flew next to a damaged hegemony ship. Instead of just shooting at it, Captain Yun Li opened his ship's doors while they were still in battle. Human soldiers in spacesuits jumped from one ship to the other, carrying guns and explosives. They're boarding the enemy ship while the battle is still going on. Jin Park could not believe what he was seeing. The human soldiers, led by Commander Jun Bei, fought their way inside the hegemony vessel. Within minutes, explosions started happening inside the enemy ship. The hegemony crew had never faced boarding parties this aggressive before. The tide of the battle changed quickly. Hegemony ships were built to fight enemies who stayed far away and shot carefully. They were not ready for humans who flew close and fought like wild animals. The human ships absorbed damage that should have destroyed them, but their crews kept fighting. Admiral Vextar's voice came over the radio, and for the first time he sounded worried. "All ships, maintain formation. Do not let them get close." But it was too late. The human fleet had already broken into the hegemony formation, like wolves attacking a flock of sheep. Each human ship was fighting 2 or 3 enemy vessels at the same time, and somehow winning. The Invincible reached Admiral Vextar's flagship Eternal Dominion. The 2 giant ships faced each other like ancient warriors with swords. But Admiral Dano had a surprise. His ship had special weapons that no one expected. "Target their command bridge," Admiral O ordered calmly. The Invincible fired a weapon that cut through the Eternal Dominion's armor like it was paper. Explosions bloomed along the hegemony flagship's hull. Admiral Vextar's ship began to list to one side, badly damaged. Around the battlefield, more hegemony ships were being destroyed or disabled. The humans fought with a coordination that amazed everyone watching. When one human ship was in trouble, 2 others would come to help immediately. When a human vessel was damaged, it would ram the nearest enemy before its weapon stopped working. 18 minutes, Suli said, looking at her timer. "The battle has only been going for 18 minutes, and half the hegemony fleet is gone." Through the window, Hannah could see Admiral Vextar's flagship trying to retreat. Smoke and fire came from many holes in its hull. The other surviving hegemony ships were also trying to escape, but the human fleet was not letting them go easily. All remaining hegemony vessels. Admiral Dano's voice was still calm, even though his ship had scorch marks all over it. "You have 10 seconds to begin hyperspace jump procedures, or you will be destroyed." Admiral Vextar's voice came over the radio one last time. He sounded beaten and afraid. "Retreat. All ships retreat immediately." The surviving hegemony ships disappeared into hyperspace, leaving behind the wreckage of their destroyed vessels and the memory of their defeat. In less than 20 minutes, a human fleet had defeated a larger enemy force and saved 847 innocent people. The space around the research station was quiet again, except for the gentle hum of the human ships as they checked for survivors among the wreckage. Humanity had given their answer to those who would hurt the innocent. The main screen in the research station flickered to life, showing Admiral Dano's face. His uniform had burn marks on it, and there was a small cut on his forehead, but his eyes were kind and calm. Behind him, Hannah could see the bridge of his ship Invincible, where human crew members were working to fix damage from the battle. "Dr. Kim, this is Admiral O. Is everyone on your station safe?" he asked. Hannah stepped forward, still feeling shocked by what had just happened. Around her, the research team was quiet, all looking at the screen. "Admiral, We're all fine. But how did you get here so fast? We thought no human ships were in this area. Admiral Lowe smiled, but it was a tired smile. Doctor, humanity learned something important a long time ago. The galaxy is a dangerous place for people who cannot protect themselves. We keep listening. Posts all through this region of space. When your emergency message came through our old diplomatic channel, we moved immediately. Dr. Jin Park stepped up next to Hannah. His hands were still shaking a little from the excitement. Admiral, our archaeological discoveries, the ancient technology we found, we would be happy to share all of it with your scientists. It's the least we can do to thank you. But Admiral O shook his head gently. That's very kind of you, Doctor, but that knowledge belongs to the people who worked hard to find it. You and your team earned those discoveries through years of careful study. We didn't come here to take anything from you. The Admiral looked away from the screen for a moment, talking to someone on his bridge. When he looked back, he said, "However, I am arranging for some of our ships to stay here permanently. Captain Yunli's squadron will build a small base on the outer moon. This way, if anyone else tries to threaten your research, we'll be here to help." Tae Choi, who was still at the communications panel, asked, "But Admiral, why would you do all this for us? We're not even the same species. We're just scientists studying old ruins." Admiral Dano's expression became serious, and when he spoke, his words were carefully chosen. "Engineer Choi, in this galaxy, there are different kinds of people. Some create new things, and others destroy what already exists. Some search for knowledge to help everyone, and others steal knowledge to hurt people. Some protect those who are weak, and others prey on anyone they can." He paused for a moment, looking directly at the camera. "Humanity has made a choice. We choose to stand with the creators, not the destroyers. We stand with the knowledge seekers, not the thieves. We stand with the protectors, not the predators." Today, that meant standing with all of you. Lieutenant Su Lee had been listening to radio chatter from the human fleet. "Admiral, your casualties. How many of your people were hurt in the battle?" 17 wounded, 3 seriously. "No deaths," Admiral O replied. "Captain Min Ko's ship took the most damage during his ramming attack, but his crew is tough. They'll be fine." Hannah felt tears in her eyes. These humans had risked their lives, their ships, and their people to save complete strangers. "Admiral, I don't understand. Most species in the galaxy only help their own kind. Why are humans different?" Admiral O was quiet for a moment, thinking about his answer. "Dr. Kim, maybe it's because humans remember what it was like to be small and weak. For most of our history, we were not the strongest or the smartest. We had to work together to survive. We learned that when good people do nothing, bad people win." Behind the Admiral, a young human officer approached and whispered something in his ear. Admiral O nodded and turned back to the screen. "Doctor, we need to leave soon. There are other places in the galaxy where people need help, and pirates, who need to be stopped. But before we go, I want you to know something important." "What's that?" Hannah asked. "Your research station will never be alone again. As long as humanity exists in this galaxy, you will have friends watching over you. The listening posts will stay active. The patrol ships will keep coming by. And if anyone ever threatens you again..." He smiled, but this time it was not a gentle smile. "Well, they'll learn what happened to Admiral Vexstar today." The transmission began to fade as the human fleet prepared to jump to hyperspace. But Admiral O's voice came through clearly one last time. "Dr. Kim, keep searching for knowledge. Keep trying to understand the universe. Keep being the kind of people who make the galaxy a better place. And remember, somewhere out here in the dark, humanity is watching and protecting those who cannot protect themselves." The screen went black. Through the windows, Hannah watched the human fleet disappear into bright flashes of hyperspace light, leaving only the quiet research station and the promise that guardians were watching over them. She looked around at her team, her people who had almost died today but were saved by strangers who asked for nothing in return. The galaxy was indeed a dangerous place. But now she knew that somewhere in the darkness, there were those who chose to be the light. The research could continue, the ancient mysteries could be solved, and the luminous dawn would keep orbiting. The gas giant, protected by the knowledge that humanity had made its choice, they chose to protect the innocent.